Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we sift through, well, a whole load of different sources, articles, research, you name it, and pull out the key insights for you. Today, we're diving into the world of arguably football's biggest club, Real Madrid. Now, we all know they're this global giant, always in the headlines, always winning things. But the real question, the one we want to tackle, is how? How do they keep up this incredible level of success, especially, with the way spending has just exploded across European football?
Exactly. It's not just that they win, it's the way they seem to sustain it season after season.
So for this deep dive, we've got a really rich mix. We're talking historical stuff, recent news, some pretty revealing financial analysis, and a look at their youth setup, too.
A lot to get through.
Yeah, and our mission really is to uncover those surprising bits, the core things that explain why Madrid keeps dominating. What makes them different? Hopefully by the end, you'll have a really solid grasp of their whole approach. It's definitely got many layers.
It really does. And it goes way beyond just smart management, I think. It feels almost like a unique blueprint, especially in defying how crazy the transfer market has become.
Okay, so let's kick things off with something that honestly feels like a real shift given their history. For years, decades even, Real Madrid meant Galacticos, right? Buying these huge global stars, massive fees, maybe as much for the brand as the pitch.
Oh, absolutely. Zidane, Figo, Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo, the list goes on.
But now, it seems like there's something else going on, a kind of a youth revolution.
It's quite stark when you look at the numbers. Get this. Real Madrid are going into the 2025-2026 season with their youngest average squad age in 26 years.
26 years, wow.
Yeah, just 25.87 years on average. That's down nearly 2 whole years, 1.85 to be exact, from the season before. It's the youngest they've been since, like, 1998-99.
That really is a massive contrast to that classic Florentino Perez policy, signing stars in their absolute prime. Zidane, Ronaldo Nazario, Bale, even Mbappe recently fits that mold more. This feels different.
It's a fundamental shift. You can see it on the pitch. The team now really revolves around these incredible young talents who've become absolutely key.
Like Vinicius Jr., Camavinga.
Tchouaméni, exactly. They're not just prospects anymore, they're core players.
And it's not stopping there, is it? This looks like a deliberate strategy. They keep bringing in these promising youngsters.
That's right. Think about Franco Mastantuono. He'll be just 18 when he joins. Dean Huijsen's 20. Endrick, 18. Arda Güler, also 18 when he arrived.
They're clearly buying future potential, not just the finished article that costs a fortune.
And look at who's leaving. That reinforces it, too. A lot of experienced players, legends really, over 30, have moved on recently.
Yeah, Modric at 39, Lucas Vazquez 34, Toni Kroos retired at 34, Nacho 34, even Joselu at 34.
It shows a real commitment to bringing that average age down, even if it means letting go of huge experience and, well, club icons.
It's fascinating when you break it down by position, too. The attack is the youngest.
By far. Average age just 22.7 years. Think about the pace and energy that brings.
And midfield, not much older.
Midfield's around 24 years average. You've got Güler, Mastantuono coming in there, too. It's the defense and goalkeeping, around 27 and 26.3 respectively, where you see that bit more experience, that stability.
So what does that mean tactically, having such a young attack? Is that a risk or...
Well, it's a calculated one, I'd say. Younger attackers often bring that raw energy, speed, maybe less predictability. Harder for defenses to handle sometimes. Plus, they're hungry.
And Perez kind of hinted at this change years ago, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Back in 2017, there's a quote where he says something like, "The sporting project must be built differently now." He mentioned focusing on stars, Spaniards, academy guys, but then added, "Today we add precise monitoring of young talents around the world."
So the vision was there quite early on.
Seems like it. Shows some pretty impressive long-term thinking.
So for anyone listening, maybe a fan, maybe someone involved in another club, what's the takeaway from this Baby Madrid approach? It's clearly about building something sustainable, a dynasty maybe, not just quick fixes.
Definitely long-term.
But can Real Madrid really afford to be patient? The pressure there is just immense, isn't it? Win now, win always.
That is the crux of it, isn't it? But somehow, their recent track record suggests they've cracked that code-balancing future building with immediate, relentless success.
Which actually leads us perfectly into the next really interesting piece of the puzzle.
Their finances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because here's where it gets, well, almost counterintuitive. You hear youth investment, maybe you think belt tightening, but Real Madrid's financial game, it's turning heads. It's kind of a paradox.
It's pretty incredible. Some sources we looked at literally describe them as economical, even using words like embarrassing other big European clubs with their spending, especially given what they win.
And the winning is just relentless. Those Champions League titles alone,
Yeah.
5 in the last decade.
5. 2016, 17, 18, then again 22, 24.
In that same time, no other club in Europe has won it more than once.
That disparity is staggering, and it makes their financial approach even more remarkable.
So let's talk numbers. Over the last 10 years, what did they actually spend versus what they brought in?
Okay, so over the decade, they spent about 896 million euros on transfers, which sounds like a lot, right?
Yeah, still a huge number.
But get this, they sold players for 745 million euros in that same period.
Wow. So the net spend is actually pretty low for a club operating at that level.
Extremely low, which
Yeah.
explains why, despite all the trophies, they only rank 13th globally in transfer spending over that decade.
13th. That's unbelievable. But is there a risk there? I mean, are they maybe missing out on signing a proven world-class player sometimes because they're being too economical, relying maybe too heavily on scouting, hitting the jackpot every time?
It's a fair question. It is a gamble, but clearly their scouting network is just phenomenal. They trust it. And look at the contrast with others.
Right, give us some comparisons.
Well, Chelsea, for example, they spent, wait for it, 2.384 billion.
Billion, okay.
And sold for 1.34 billion. Manchester City spent 1.75 billion, sold about 855 million. PSG, similar story. Even Barcelona spent nearly 1.4 billion.
So Madrid's net spend looks tiny in comparison.
It really does. It suggests a completely different model. Others are spending huge amounts, maybe chasing success, while Madrid seems to have built this efficient, almost self-sustaining machine.
And even with this, let's call it prudent spending, they hit a massive financial milestone recently.
Yeah, unbelievable achievement. For the 2023-24 financial year, they became the first football club ever to break 1 billion euros in revenue.
1 billion. So how does that work? Less spending, but record revenue.
A lot of it ties into their ownership structure, which is quite unique at the top level.
The socios.
Exactly. The club is owned by its 60,000 members. They're not beholden to, say, private owners or shareholders demanding quick profits on investments.
So they can actually play the long game. Invest in youth, wait for it to pay off without that immediate market pressure.
That seems to be a key advantage. It allows for that strategic patience we talked about.
Okay, so if you had to give one piece of advice to a struggling club, one that keeps spending big but not getting results, based on Madrid's model, what's the core lesson? Is it just scout better?
It's broader than just scouting, that's crucial. I think it's about understanding that value isn't always the biggest price tag. It's building an ecosystem.
An ecosystem.
Yeah. Patiently finding talent before it costs a fortune, developing it, having an ownership model that supports long-term thinking, and generating revenue streams like the stadium. It's about building a machine, not just buying parts.
That makes sense. A really powerful insight. But okay, Real Madrid isn't just a smart business or a youth project. It's Real Madrid, an institution, history, identity, rivalries. That all plays a huge part too.
Oh, absolutely. You can't understand them without that context. Founded way back, March 6, 1902, just Madrid Football Club initially.
And the royal title came later.
Yeah, King Alfonso III granted it in 1920. That regal connection is part of the identity. And, FIFA didn't name them Best Club of the 20th Century for nothing back in 2000. That legacy is immense.
And the Bernabéu itself, it's more than just a ground, isn't it? Opened in 1947.
Iconic. Over 85,000 capacity now. Hosted everything, Champions League finals, Euros final, World Cup final. And they're still upgrading it, planning that retractable roof. It's a symbol of their stature, their ambition.
And speaking of infrastructure, we have to talk about La Fábrica, the factory.
Right, the youth academy. It's based in that massive Real Madrid city complex, Valdebebas. A huge investment, like 100 million.
And it's not just ancient history like, the famous Quinta del Buitre back in the 80s.
No, not at all. That group was legendary, winning 5 La Ligas in a row, but La Fábrica is constantly working. It's the engine room that fuels this current youth strategy we discussed. It produces talent, meaning they don't always have to buy big. It directly supports the economical spending model.
Okay, and then El Clásico, the rivalry with Barcelona. You can't talk Real Madrid without talking El Clásico.
It's impossible. It's just more than a football match. It's this global event.
The most watched club match in the world, right?
Yeah.
It's be like 650 million viewers for one game.
Staggering numbers. And the roots are so deep. Political, cultural. It represents that historical tension between Catalonia, with Barcelona as its symbol, and Castile Madrid, the central government.
Especially during the Franco era, you hear about that a lot.
Yeah, Barcelona became this huge symbol of Catalan identity then, while Real Madrid, fairly or unfairly, was sometimes seen as linked to the regime. Though it's important to remember, players on both sides suffered during that time. It's
And
complex.
on the pitch, it's always incredibly tight, isn't it? The head-to-head record is almost level.
It's amazing. Out of what, 261 official games by mid 2025, Real Madrid had 105 wins, Barcelona 104, only 52 draws. That tells you how fiercely contested it is, how much it drives both clubs.
And there's the other derby, too, the Madrid derby against Atletico.
Right, the city rivalry. Historically, that had a different flavor, maybe more of a class thing. Real, seen as the establishment club. Atletico as more working class, rebellious.
And Franco's influence played a part there, too, initially.
Yeah, apparently the regime initially favored Atletico because of some military connections, but then shifted towards Real Madrid, seeing them as better for Spain's image internationally.
But Real have generally had the upper hand in that one.
Historically, yes. Pretty dominant, winning something like 145 out of 277 official matches compared to Atletico's 69.
So all this history, these intense rivalries, it builds a really strong identity. And maybe that Balondo boycott is a good example of that institutional muscle.
It's a fascinating example, yeah. Still boycotting the ceremony, apparently unhappy with the organizers about past events like Vinicius Jr. not winning, Ancelotti not getting his award in person.
How does that kind of thing, that sort of institutional pride, that willingness to dig your heels in, actually help them win? Does it create a siege mentality?
I think it absolutely can. It fosters this incredibly strong sense of unity, of us against the world. It sends a message inside the club. We are Real Madrid. We have our standards, our pride. That can be a powerful motivator in the dressing room, especially if they feel slighted. It's maybe a subtle factor, but it contributes to that winning culture.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. We've seen Real Madrid make this really significant shift towards youth, right? Building around young talent, bringing down the average age dramatically.
Yeah, challenging that whole Galactico idea. And then there's the financial side, incredibly efficient, winning more than anyone while spending net much less than their big rivals, almost an economical giant.
Proving you don't just have to splash cash constantly.
Yeah.
And underpinning it all is this powerful sense of identity. The history, La Fabrica pumping out talent, those fierce rivalries driving them on, and this strong institutional pride.
Exactly. It all weaves together into this unique model for success.
So Real Madrid keeps finding ways to stay ahead, often going against the grain. It makes you wonder, given this blend of youth, smart finances, and deep identity, what's the next big shift we might see in top-level football? And how will Real Madrid inevitably be leading it?
That's the billion-euro question, isn't it? What comes next? And you can almost bet Real Madrid will figure it out before most others do.